Caddis Maximus here. This time a review of the UltraPod made in USA miniature micro mini tripod. This is a really lightweight, less than 50 gram with a little strap, little miniature 1/4" 20 camera tripod. And overall it seems like it's pretty decent, but you look online, the retail price is like $15 on this little thing. And even on Amazon it's like 12 bucks or something, so it's surprisingly expensive. And you can understand they are actually trying to make this in the United States. They say that it's made out of nylon with glass fiber reinforcing. There's very little glass fiber in it, as we can see how translucent it is. If you get in like power tools, they'll use up to 30% of the materials fiberglass, and it has this real interesting sheen. And so even though it may be fiberglass reinforced, it's not a particularly high percentage. That being said, being nylon, it is actually surprisingly robust. If you were to, say, have a GoPro mounted to it, it would certainly take some hits and falls. Unfortunately, this has one big issue and why I don't recommend it, and it's something that shouldn't have made it through, design phase, really, design and test. And that's just that this ball is way too loose. There's another issue. Is they use a metal ball, which it seems nice, aluminum, and an aluminum bolt in there, but it does have a plastic overmolded cap, and they just knurled the end of the bolt to get this overmolded nylon thumb screw on it. They did use a E-clip on the end of it, so when you unscrew it, it doesn't fall apart, and I thought that was pretty innovative. Unfortunately, the metal is just screwing right straight into, or threading right into the nylon, so that will eventually strip out. It really will strip out because you're having to crank down on this. I mean, I'm putting a weight, enough to hurt your fingers. Nobody's going to tighten it down as much as I just did, and it just does not really provide very much friction, which is a shame. I like this. I like that it had real stiff rivets so that the legs don't really want to fold out. I like that they are chamfered and sit nice and flat. I kind of like the way they tuck in simply. One of the big things online is attaching this to various things using the strap that passes through a hole in the front. Say to, people talk about attaching it to tree limbs and that kind of stuff. And it may work when a phone is mounted to it, but I wouldn't mount any kind of 35mm camera. Now that we've got this whole thing, we've talked about that, let's thread a phone into it with a standard, or not a standard, but a real cheap clip mount that is pretty lightweight. And we'll orient it just a little bit differently here. And so this you might use on lower ground level shots, or set this up on a table, or want to do some macro shots and you hold it, but it's just so annoying, especially when you have, a real camera, a leverage. If you have it down like that and then you set it down kind of hard, it starts moving. If you do it way over, it's just like that again. So you may set it up for a shot, want to move it, and you may not move it that forcefully, but if it's a heavy camera, that's not that much force, and it just adjusts itself. So you're going to go back and readjust it, and it just ends up wearing out this little fitting in there. So anyway, I thought this was kind of neat. It was an interesting take. This company is called Pedco, and they try to have various different little tripods, and maybe some of the more expensive ones may work better, but they start quickly getting into $30 and $40 price ranges. But on this little one, for what it costs, it's really kind of surprising that this ball just doesn't hold very well, and it's kind of a disappointment. Anyway, I actually did pick this up used. This was surprisingly enough at a thrift store, and I kind of understand why now. It was probably just got a bit annoying. The fact that, if you don't crank down on the screw like I have been in this video, if you just fold this up and put a normal amount of force, this thing will hardly keep straight at all. No way you're mounting a GoPro to this. No way you're putting this on the handlebars of your bicycle or anything like that. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I also wanted to mention I really appreciate everybody's comments and a lot of the support that I've been getting. And I'm trying to make myself mention that more often in my videos, my appreciation of that. Anyway, see you next time.